I opened the bedroom door, expecting the quiet hum of our usual morning routine. Instead, my heart froze. Sophia's phone was on the nightstand, buzzing incessantly. I reached for it, just curiosity, I told myself, but the messages I saw made my stomach drop. Can't wait to see you tonight. Miss you, one read. I blinked. Then another, Sophia, you know this is dangerous. Don't get caught. I felt my hands shake. No, this can't be real, I muttered. When Sophia walked in, she looked up at me with that practiced, sweet smile. Hey, babe. You're up early. I slammed the phone down. Who is he? My voice was raw, breaking. What are you talking about? She asked, tilting her head. The messages, the texts. I saw them. Who is he? I stepped closer, my chest tight. Sophia laughed softly, brushing past me. You're imagining things. You're overreacting. Overreacting. I saw it. For months, Sophia. Months of lies. I couldn't stop the words from spilling out. She stopped, frowning. I don't know what you mean. I felt a rush of heat. Don't play games with me. I trusted you. I gave you everything. Sophia's eyes flickered, but her tone stayed calm. You're being dramatic. Maybe you just misread something. Misread? Misread. I shouted, my voice echoing off the walls. My life, our life, and you've been cheating on me. I said I don't know what you're talking about, she repeated, almost mockingly. I laughed bitterly, shaking my head. You're unbelievable. Do you even realize what you've done? I think you need to calm down, she said, stepping back. I didn't mean for it to hurt you. You didn't mean for it to hurt me. I cut her off. Sophia, you lied to me every day. Every night. While I was working late, providing for us, you were texting him. You're unbelievable. She looked away, eyes flickering, and I realized I had struck a nerve. It's complicated, she whispered. Complicated? Do you know what's complicated? I asked, voice low and shaking. Feeling like the fool in your own life. Feeling like everything you believed in was a lie. She sighed, soft, almost seductive. Look, maybe divorce is the easiest solution. I don't want to fight you. Let's just. I stared at her, stunned. Divorce? Already? You're going to ruin everything. It's for both our sakes, she said lightly. I think this is cleaner. I couldn't breathe. Cleaner? You want to just erase me from our life? Why drag it out? We've grown apart, she said, her tone calm, almost detached. I laughed, a bitter, broken sound. Grown apart? No, Sophia. You destroyed us. She shrugged. Maybe. But it's life. Things change. I sank onto the edge of the bed, feeling the weight of humiliation crush me. You're taking everything I worked for, everything I built. And for what? Him. She hesitated. It's complicated. I didn't plan for any of this. I wanted to scream, to shake her, to demand answers. Instead, I felt numb. The rage inside me burned, cold and relentless. You're unbelievable, I whispered, almost to myself. Maybe you'll understand someday, she said softly, almost mockingly, before walking out. The sound of her heels clicking down the hallway echoed like a verdict. I sat there, the apartment suddenly empty, hollow, as if the walls themselves were mocking me. I remembered our wedding. Her laugh, her hand in mine, the promises we made. I had believed every word. I had trusted her completely. And now, it was gone. I called my lawyer the next day, knowing I'd already lost. The court sided with her. She took nearly everything, our apartment, my savings, even the car. The humiliation cut deeper than I expected. At night, alone, I replayed every memory, the late-night dinners, the quiet Sunday mornings, the whispered, "I love you," in the dark. Was any of it real? Or had it all been part of her plan? I clenched my fists. "I won't forget this," I muttered, voice barely audible. "I can't. I won't let this define me." The rage mixed with sorrow, a bitter cocktail that kept me awake. Every heartbeat reminded me of betrayal, every thought a whisper of revenge. I couldn't just move on, not yet. Not while the image of her smiling, lying to me, haunted every corner of my mind. And in that silence, I made a silent vow. One day, I would reclaim my life. One day, I would rise above this pain. One day, she would see that she hadn't destroyed me, she had only awakened something stronger inside me. For now, I sat there, listening to the empty apartment, the walls echoing my heartbreak. And as the tears slid down, hot and heavy, I let a single word fill the room. Revenge. I pushed through the office door, already feeling the exhaustion in my bones. My friends waved, trying to cheer me up, but I just nodded. "Hey, good morning," I mumbled. "Rough night?" asked Jenny, setting down my coffee. "Yeah, you could say that," I said, forcing a smile. "You don't have to pretend with us, you know," she said softly. "I know," I replied, looking down at the mug. "It's just. I don't even know where to start." Alex, from across the room, glanced over and gave me a small nod. I hadn't spoken to him much before, but something in his eyes told me he understood more than anyone here could. Later, he leaned against the cubicle wall. "Rough patch, huh?" "You could say that," I muttered, avoiding his gaze. "I've been there," he said quietly. "Lost someone I trusted. Thought I'd never recover." I looked at him, curious. "Really?" "Yeah," he replied. "It's humbling. Pain teaches you what's worth keeping, and what's worth letting go." I shook my head. "I don't think I can just let go. She took everything." Alex's eyes softened. "I know. But letting go doesn't mean forgetting or surrendering. It means choosing how you'll survive." I laughed bitterly. "Survive? I feel like I've been buried alive." "You're not," he said firmly. "You're standing right here. You're breathing. That counts for something." I rubbed my temples. I don't even know who I am anymore. I can't look at anything without remembering her, everything she stole. Alex nodded. "I get it. I really do. But you can't let her control your every thought. You have to fight back in the only way that matters, you, your life, your future." "I don't even know where to start," I admitted. "Start with small things," he said. "Work. Friends. Focus on building yourself up, not tearing her down, yet." I nodded, unsure. "But the anger, it's constant. I can't stop thinking about what she did." "That's normal," Alex said. "Let it fuel you, but don't let it consume you. Channel it." I laughed bitterly. Channel it? I just want to scream and break things. "Then scream," he said calmly. "Cry. But then get up and do something productive. That's the difference between staying broken and becoming stronger." I thought about it, realizing he was right. I had spent days in bed, staring at walls, reliving every moment of betrayal. I had let everything slip through my fingers, but I still had skills, still had a mind that could fight back. Maybe I can do that," I said slowly. Alex smiled faintly. "You don't have to do it alone." "Thanks," I said, feeling a strange warmth in my chest. I didn't know anyone could understand this. "Most people don't," he replied. "That's why you find the ones who do." They remind you that you're not broken beyond repair. Over the next few weeks, I started working longer hours. The office became my refuge. Every spreadsheet, every client call, every late-night meeting was a reminder that I could still function, still be more than a victim. One evening, Alex stopped by my desk. "You're pushing too hard," he said. "I have to," I muttered. "I can't stay stuck in that apartment, drowning in memories." "You'll burn out," he warned. "Pain doesn't disappear just because you're busy." "I know," I said, staring at my hands. "But it's better than lying on the couch, letting her win." "Then channel it properly," he said. "Learn, grow, and let her see the life you're building without her." I nodded. "Yeah. I want that. I want to take control back." "That's the spirit," he said, smiling. "But remember, don't rush the process. Rebuilding takes time. And there will be moments when the anger resurfaces. That's okay. I'll try," I said quietly. I can't let this break me." "You won't," Alex said firmly. "You have more strength than you realize. Sometimes the hardest moments create the strongest people." I stared at the computer screen, thinking about everything I had lost and what I could still regain. Slowly, a sense of determination began to replace the despair. "Thanks," I said finally, looking at him. "I needed someone to remind me I'm not alone in this." "You're never alone," he said simply. "And when the time comes, you'll know how to fight back, not just against her, but against every obstacle that tries to keep you down." I smiled faintly, feeling a spark of hope for the first time in weeks. "Then let's do it," I said, determination hardening my voice. Alex nodded, his expression serious. "Step by step. One day at a time. Reclaim what's yours, mentally, emotionally, and financially." I leaned back in my chair, thinking about the life ahead. It wouldn't be easy. It would be painful. But I realized I had a choice: stay broken or fight back. And for the first time since it all started, I knew which path I would take. I sat in my apartment, laptop open, coffee gone cold. The more I thought about Sophia, the more the pieces didn't fit. Something about her story didn't add up. A message from Elena popped up. "Hey, I hope you're doing okay. Sophia asked me to grab dinner tomorrow, but I think she's busy." Weird, right? I frowned. Weird? Or is it hiding something? I muttered to myself. The next day, I called Elena. "Hey, can we talk?" I kept my voice casual, careful. "Sure," she said, sounding cheerful. "It's been a while. I wanted to check on Sophia. You know, see how she's doing." "Oh, she's fine, I guess. Busy. More than usual," Elena said. "Honestly, she seemed stressed last week. She was secretive about some guy she's been seeing." I froze. "Secretive?" "Yes," Elena admitted. "She didn't tell me much. She just brushed it off, said it wasn't important. But she seemed nervous around him." I leaned back. "Interesting. Do you know who he is?" Elena hesitated. "Ethan. I think. That's all I know. She never gave me details." I didn't pry. I thanked her quickly, hanging up. My mind raced. Ethan, the affair partner I had suspected? But if Sophia was nervous, maybe there was more than just our betrayal. I spent the evening digging, scanning posts, messages, and whispers online. Something clicked. Ethan wasn't as innocent as I imagined. He had a few shady connections, past lawsuits, rumors of scamming people. And Sophia knew, she had to have known, but still manipulated him. I whispered to myself, so it wasn't just me she betrayed, she played him too. The next morning at work, Alex noticed my distracted gaze. "You're quiet today. What's going on? I found something, about Sophia, I admitted. She's not just lying to me. She's manipulating someone else too. Alex leaned in. Ethan? I nodded slowly. Exactly. And he's no saint either. Dark past. But she's using him, like she always uses people. Careful, Alex warned. This is dangerous territory. Are you planning to confront her? Not yet, I said firmly. I need proof. I need strategy. I can't just lash out. This time, I want control. He smiled faintly. Good. Control is what she can't touch. Focus on that. That night, I stayed up late, going through every clue, every photo, every post. So she's arrogant enough to think she can hide everything, I muttered. But arrogance leaves footprints. I noticed patterns, dates she claimed to work late, the times Ethan appeared online, subtle social cues in her public photos. Each tiny detail added to the story I was building. I dialed Elena again. Did Sophia ever mention Ethan doing anything shady? Elena hesitated. Not really, she only said he was complicated. But she didn't seem worried, just interested. Thank you, I said softly. I just needed to know she wasn't completely honest with you either. She's always secretive, Elena said. I thought I was imagining things. I didn't want to interfere. I exhaled. No, you didn't. But this helps more than you know. The next few days became a careful dance. I watched social media, cross-referenced locations, read between every line of public interactions. I began connecting dots Sophia thought I'd never see. At work, Alex noticed my focus. You're quiet again, he said. Not quiet, I replied, calculating. She thinks she's untouchable, but I'm learning the rules of her game. Don't lose yourself in it, he cautioned. I won't, I said. But this time, I won't just survive. I'll understand. And then I'll act. Late one night, staring at my laptop screen, I whispered to myself, every lie she told, every secret she hid. I see it now. I'm not powerless anymore. The sense of vindication was subtle but growing. My heart still ached for what she had done, but it was sharper, more focused. Anger turned into strategy. Pain turned into patience. I can wait, I murmured, staring at the photo of her with Ethan, both laughing. I can wait until the right moment. And then. I didn't finish the thought aloud. I didn't need to. The seeds of revenge had been planted. But so had my self-respect. This wasn't just about hurting her, it was about reclaiming my life. I leaned back in my chair, feeling a strange sense of calm. She thought she could break me completely, I whispered. She was wrong. And the more I learn, the stronger I get. Every piece of her secret made me sharper, more prepared. Every clue was a reminder, patience now, victory later. And in that quiet, careful observation, I finally felt a spark of control, a tiny taste of what was coming. I walked into the office, coffee in hand, eyes scanning the room. Everything felt different now, sharper, cleaner. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was watching. Alex leaned against the doorway. You seem focused today. I am, I said, setting down my coffee. Focused on moving forward. On reclaiming control. He raised an eyebrow. Control, huh? Careful. Don't let it turn into obsession. I know the difference, I said. This time, I'm smart about it. Patience. At my desk, my laptop pinged with an email. A deal I had been negotiating, something I thought was lost, had turned in my favor. I smiled quietly. Finally, I whispered. Later, my new rival, Damien, stopped by my office. You've been making waves, he said, voice casual but edged. I've been learning, I said lightly, not looking up. Funny, he said. I thought you were finished after everything. Guess not. I leaned back in my chair. Sometimes, what looks like a defeat is just preparation. He narrowed his eyes. Careful. You're treading dangerous waters. I've always known how to swim, I replied, keeping my tone calm. By the afternoon, I noticed a post from Sophia online, flashing a new luxury car, expensive restaurant, all the while tagging Ethan. I frowned. She didn't realize I was watching, piecing everything together. Alex appeared at my desk. You're staring at her posts again. I can't help it, I admitted. She's flaunting, thinking she's untouchable. But arrogance leaves traces. He nodded. And you're planning to let it lead you? Yes, I said firmly. I'm letting her unravel herself. I don't need to rush. Later that week, I ran into Damien at a conference. Heard you're back in the game, he said, voice low. I've never left, I said. I just recalibrated. He smirked. Don't get too comfortable. She's smart. And vengeful. You know that. I've got my own methods, I replied. Returning to the office, I checked Sophia's posts again. Every detail she shared, every luxury dinner, every private party, painted her as careless. Each one was a clue, a breadcrumb I could use. I whispered to myself, she doesn't even know I'm watching. That's her weakness. Alex stopped by my cubicle again. You're calculating, he said quietly. Don't lose yourself in it. I'm not losing myself, I said. I'm becoming myself. Stronger, smarter. She thought she could break me, she was wrong. A notification popped up, a client Damien had been eyeing had just accepted my proposal. I grinned. Step by step, I muttered. Later, in a tense call with a supplier, I used every ounce of negotiation skill I had. We meet these terms, or we walk away, I said calmly. Are you serious? The supplier asked, stunned. Completely, I replied. I'm not here to lose. I'm here to win. After the call, I sat back, heart racing. This is it, I whispered. The first step of taking back what's mine. That night, scrolling through social media again, I noticed Sophia making a careless comment, I trust people, so why wouldn't I? I smiled bitterly. Too trusting, I muttered. I picked up my phone and dialed Alex. She's making mistakes again. Big ones. Good, he said simply. Patience is paying off. I can wait, I said. I'll let her confidence blind her. She's going to trip on it. Remember, Alex warned, don't let anger dictate your moves. Let strategy guide you. I know, I said firmly. This is strategy, not revenge. Yet. Over the next few days, I noticed patterns, Sophia posting at the same time every day, mentioning Ethan subtly, attending events she thought no one noticed. Each detail added to my growing understanding. I whispered to myself, every step she takes is part of her undoing. I just have to stay patient. At the office, Damien tried to throw a curveball during a meeting. You think you can just rise after everything? He asked, voice tight. I don't think, I replied. I know. And I'll keep going, no matter what. Alex leaned over my shoulder later. You're becoming someone unrecognizable from the man you were at the start. I'm just finally me, I said. The one she never expected to exist. The one she can't touch. Scrolling through Sophia's posts one last time before bed, I muttered, she's blind. And I'm ready. The first strike wasn't violent. It wasn't public. It was calculated, subtle, precise. I let her arrogance guide her, while I quietly regained power piece by piece. I'm not done, I whispered to myself. Not by a long shot. But the game has begun, and I'm winning. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the documents in front of me. Every number, every clause, every detail could ruin Sophia completely. I could make her life crumble. And yet, I hesitated. Alex walked in quietly. "You look conflicted," he said, folding his arms. "I am," I admitted. "I can destroy her. Every asset, every connection. But, will it make me happy?" "You've asked yourself that before," he said gently. "Revenge can be satisfying for a moment, but it rarely lasts. You'll be left with the emptiness, and it will consume you if you're not careful." I rubbed my temples. I can't forget what she did. But sometimes, I wonder if I'm doing this for me, or just to hurt her. "Ask yourself," he said. "Which one feels better? True freedom, or a hollow victory?" I closed my eyes, memories flooding me, our first date, the way she laughed at my jokes, the nights we shared. "I loved her," I whispered. "And she threw it all away. I trusted her completely." "And that betrayal stings," Alex said softly. "Of course it does. But you can either let it define you, or you can rise above it." I opened my eyes, glancing at my phone. A notification popped up. Sophia had posted something new. Something small, but her tone was tense, almost frantic. I smirked slightly. "She knows I'm watching." Alex frowned. "That's dangerous. Don't let her panic guide your decisions. Think clearly." I nodded. "I'm trying." Later, my lawyer called. "Everything is in place. If you decide to move forward, you have the leverage to completely dismantle her finances. She won't see it coming." I leaned back, fingers tapping the desk. "I know," I said quietly. "But should I?" "Should you?" the lawyer repeated. "That's the question." I hung up, staring at the ceiling. Could I live with myself if I did this? Or would I feel empty, triumphant but hollow? Alex's voice echoed in my head, true freedom, or hollow victory. I whispered to myself, freedom, maybe that's the real goal. Days passed. I continued monitoring her social media, her public appearances, her every careless post. Sophia's anxiety was growing. I could see the cracks. A missed meeting, a panicked message, a photo of Ethan looking worried. Her confidence was fraying. I could have struck. I could have exposed everything in one calculated move. But I didn't. I walked into Alex's office. "I'm not going to ruin her," I said firmly. Alex leaned back, surprised. "You've decided?" "Yes," I said. "I want control, yes. But my victory doesn't have to come from destroying her. It comes from reclaiming my life. From building myself stronger than ever before." He smiled faintly. "That's wisdom. It's harder than revenge, but it lasts longer." I exhaled, a mixture of relief and lingering anger. "It's still tempting, though," I admitted. "Every mistake she makes. I want to push her further down." "That temptation will always be there," Alex said. "But you have to measure your satisfaction against your conscience. Don't trade your peace for her chaos." I nodded slowly, realizing he was right. Satisfaction wouldn't come from her downfall, it would come from my growth, my strength, my ability to stand taller despite her betrayal. That night, I sat alone, reflecting. "I loved her," I whispered. "And yes, she destroyed that part of my life. But I'm stronger than the pain. Stronger than the desire to destroy her." I thought about Ethan, about Elena, about every person Sophia had manipulated. "Justice doesn't have to be mine to deliver," I muttered. "Sometimes, it comes naturally. Sometimes, it's better to focus on yourself." Scrolling through her posts one last time before bed, I saw her frantic smile, her anxious laughter, her carefully curated image cracking ever so slightly. I smiled faintly. She's unraveling on her own. And I'm finally free to rebuild without letting anger consume me. Alex's words replayed in my mind. Rise above it. I whispered to myself, I don't need revenge to feel alive. I need to live. The temptation to strike was still there, faint but persistent. But I pushed it aside, focusing on the bigger picture, my life, my growth, my future. I could hear my own heartbeat in the silence of my apartment, steady, strong. This is victory, I said softly. Not hers, not anyone else's. Mine. And for the first time in months, I felt a sense of peace, not from ruining her, not from watching her falter, but from knowing I had chosen myself, my growth, and my life over anger. The game wasn't over. Sophia would still make mistakes, and karma would follow. But I had passed the test that mattered most. I wouldn't let bitterness define me. I was sipping my coffee when my phone buzzed. Elena's name flashed on the screen. I hesitated, then answered. Hey, I said casually. I don't know if I should tell you this, she stammered, voice tight. It's about Sophia and Ethan. I leaned back. Go on. There was an argument, Elena whispered. Ethan confronted her. Something about money, she took from him. I think she embezzled funds. She lied about it, hid it from him. I felt my pulse quicken. Are you serious? Elena hesitated. I don't know all the details. I only overheard part of their conversation. But he sounded furious. And she sounded desperate. I muttered to myself, a smile tugging at my lips. Desperate, huh? That's new. Are you, okay? Elena asked softly. I didn't mean to upset you. No, I said firmly. I need to watch. Carefully. That night, I scrolled through social media, piecing together what I could. Ethan had posted vague, angry messages, subtly referencing betrayal and misappropriated funds. Sophia's carefully curated perfection was cracking. Alex stopped by my apartment. You look satisfied, he said cautiously. I am, I admitted. Not because I did anything, but because she's unraveling herself. Her mistakes, they're surfacing on their own. Alex frowned. Be careful. This could get messy, fast. I know, I said. But I don't need to touch her. Karma is doing the work for me. The next morning, I ran into Ethan outside a cafe. He looked stressed, conflicted, glancing over his shoulder. You Ethan? I asked cautiously. He nodded. Who's asking? Someone who's been paying attention, I said lightly. You seem troubled. He looked at me, hesitation in his eyes. I can't talk here. I leaned closer. Then talk carefully. Someone you trusted is hiding something big. And it's unraveling fast. His jaw tightened. You know about Sophia? I know enough, I said quietly. And so do you. But the key is, don't panic. Let things reveal themselves. You'll see clearly if you just wait. He nodded slowly, conflicted. I think I understand. By evening, my phone buzzed again. Elena, she's panicking. Ethan found proof. She's desperate. I smiled faintly. Finally. Alex called. You're not intervening. No, I said. Not yet. I'm letting it unfold naturally. Every slip she makes is a step she takes herself. He sighed. Patience. I like it. Harder than revenge, but smarter. The next day, I saw the first signs of her public cracks. Sophia posted a photo, but her smile was forced, her caption awkward, almost pleading. Comments were subtle, questioning her credibility. I whispered, she thinks she's untouchable. She's not. Later, Elena texted, Ethan confronted her in person. She's panicking completely. I don't think she knows what to do. I sat back in my chair, a mix of relief and satisfaction swelling inside me. I didn't gloat, I didn't celebrate. I felt calm. Confident. Finally aligned with myself. Alex appeared again. You're calm for someone whose ex is falling apart. I'm focused, I said. I've realized I don't need to destroy her. I just need to reclaim my life. The rest unfolds naturally. He nodded. That's strength. That's maturity. That evening, I caught a glimpse of Ethan's Instagram story. He was packing documents into a folder, looking determined, but visibly angry. Sophia's panic was palpable. I whispered, justice, or karma, call it what you will, is working. I don't have to lift a finger. Scrolling through old photos of Sophia, I remembered how she smiled at me, how she promised forever. How easily she shattered it all. My anger flared briefly, then subsided. I realized that my goal wasn't revenge, it was clarity, freedom, and strength. Alex's words echoed again, rise above it. I texted Elena, thanks. You've helped more than you know. Just, keep an eye. Let things play out. Her reply came quickly, I will. It's strange seeing her unravel. I feel bad, but she did it to herself. Exactly, I whispered. She did it to herself. Over the next few days, I monitored quietly. Sophia made more mistakes, desperate posts, clumsy attempts to cover tracks, nervous messages to Ethan. Every crack in her facade reinforced my confidence. I felt a surge of self-assurance I hadn't felt in months. I wasn't the broken, humiliated man anymore. I was stronger, wiser, independent. That night, alone in my apartment, I whispered to myself, this is my life now. My choices, my control. Karma or fate, it doesn't matter. I'm free. Scrolling one last time through Sophia's crumbling online presence, I felt no satisfaction from her misery, only clarity. The universe had corrected itself, and I was still standing, intact, unbroken, and growing stronger. Alex called one last time before bed. You've embraced who you are, he said. Yes, I said. And I know exactly what I want now, my life, my peace, and my growth. Everything else is just noise. I smiled faintly. Karma isn't mine to deliver. It's mine to watch. And that's enough. I saw it before I even checked my phone, a headline flashing across my screen, Sophia's secrets exposed, betrayal and embezzlement revealed. I leaned back in my chair, letting the words sink in. Alex appeared behind me, eyebrow raised. I take it that caught your attention. I smiled faintly. You could say that. She's finally facing what she's created for herself. Feels good, doesn't it? He asked cautiously. It's not satisfaction I'm after, I said. It's clarity. The world sees her for what she is, but I'm free from the chaos she caused me. Later, I got a call from Damien. I heard the news, he said, voice tense. Looks like Sophia's empire is crumbling. You must feel vindicated. I'm not celebrating, I said firmly. I'm observing. That's the difference. She called me today, he added. She sounded desperate. Begging. I chuckled softly. Begging for what? My forgiveness? My sympathy? That bridge burned a long time ago. The next day, I ran into Elena at the cafe. She looked uneasy. She's spiraling, she said quietly. People are finding out. Ethan's confronting her. Even our family, they're shocked. I know, I said. And I've stayed out of it. Letting the truth reveal itself was the only strategy one needed. Elena hesitated. Do you feel anything? I mean, seeing her like this? I looked at her and then out the window. Pity, maybe. Anger, certainly. But satisfaction? Not exactly. I feel relief. Relief that I no longer carry the weight of her deception. That evening, my phone buzzed, Sophia. Her name flashed, sending a twinge of something I hadn't felt in months, tension. I answered cautiously. Sophia. Please, she said immediately, voice trembling. I need to talk to you. I made mistakes, I know, I interrupted calmly. I've been watching. And yes, you made mistakes. Many. Bigger than you imagined. I just want. I want to fix things, she said, desperation clear. You can't fix what you destroyed, I said firmly. Not with words, not with promises. The world is already seeing the truth. Her voice cracked. I didn't mean to hurt you. I never wanted to. I know, I said softly. But intent doesn't erase actions. You need to face the consequences, Sophia. And I'm not here to be part of them. There was silence for a long moment. Then, please, can we at least talk? No, I said. We can't. You've crossed the line too many times. You're going to have to rebuild, if you even can. And I won't be part of it. After I hung up, I felt a strange mixture of emotions, pity, yes, anger, certainly, but also, calm. For the first time in months, I felt truly untethered from her chaos. The next morning at work, Damien and some colleagues greeted me with subtle nods, smiles that said more than words. Looks like you survived the storm, Damien said. I didn't just survive, I said. I learned from it. And I'm moving forward. Alex stopped by my desk. You've handled everything with integrity. I'm impressed. Integrity, I repeated, nodding. It's harder than revenge, but it lasts longer. And it's more satisfying in its own way. Later, I met with my lawyer and financial advisor. Everything is on track, my lawyer said. You've reclaimed stability, and your investments are secure. Sophia's collapse isn't affecting you. Good, I said. I want to focus on growth, not revenge. By evening, I saw more reports online, Ethan confirming her embezzlement, colleagues distancing themselves, former friends speaking cautiously about her actions. The web she had spun so carefully was unraveling entirely. I whispered to myself, she built her life on lies. And now, the world sees her for what she is. I don't need to act. I just need to keep living. A text from Alex came through, you're finally free. Don't let anyone or anything take that from you. I smiled faintly. I'm free, I whispered. Completely. Evening came, and I met with some close colleagues for dinner. They toasted subtly to personal victories, to perseverance, to new beginnings. I raised my glass quietly. To moving forward, I said softly. To moving forward, they echoed. Later, alone in my apartment, I thought of Sophia one last time. Her arrogance, her lies, her manipulations, they had all collapsed. And yet, I didn't feel triumph. I felt peace. Alex called. How's it feel? Different, I said. It's not victory in the usual sense. It's freedom. Relief. The knowledge that I no longer carry her shadow with me. Good, he said warmly. That's all that matters. You've won in the only way that counts. I glanced at my phone again. Sophia had posted something desperate, clumsy, almost pleading. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. I whispered to myself, this is my life now. My choices, my stability, my integrity. Everything else is hers to face. I leaned back in my chair, letting the silence fill the room. No gloating, no satisfaction at her pain. Only clarity, calm, and a sense of strength I hadn't felt in years. For the first time, I realized that real victory wasn't about punishing her. It was about reclaiming myself, emotionally, professionally, and morally. I whispered to the empty room, I survived. I rebuilt. I am stronger than I ever imagined. And for the first time, I felt completely untouchable, not because I had crushed her, but because I had preserved my own integrity, my own life, and my own peace. The storm had passed. Sophia had fallen. And I was rising. I sat on the balcony of my new apartment, the city lights stretching endlessly before me. The air was crisp, and for the first time in months, I felt completely at peace. Alex's voice came through my phone. "You sound different." "I am different," I said, a soft smile tugging at my lips. "I'm no longer carrying the weight of her lies. Or her chaos." "That's good to hear," he said warmly. "You've come a long way. You've built yourself back stronger, wiser, and calmer." "I feel it," I admitted. "Every choice I've made, every patience I've practiced, it's all paying off. I'm finally living for me, not for anger or revenge." Alex chuckled. "And yet, you didn't need to destroy her to feel that. That's the lesson, isn't it?" "Yes," I said quietly. I watched karma unfold naturally. I reclaimed my life, and that's victory enough. I put my phone down, staring at the horizon. The city buzzed below, but inside me, there was stillness. It was a new beginning. Later that week, I met someone new. Her name was Lila. We met through a colleague, a casual introduction, but there was something genuine about her presence. "Hi," she said, smiling. "I've heard a lot about you." "I hope all good things," I replied, a small laugh escaping me. "All good things," she confirmed. "But also, that you're resilient. People talk about your growth." I chuckled softly. Growth is an interesting word. It comes from a lot of pain, actually. "I can see that," she said. "But it also comes from strength. And I admire that." We walked through the park nearby, the city lights reflecting on the water. I felt lighter than I had in years. Lila wasn't a replacement for what I lost, she was a symbol of what I could build anew. Later, I called Alex. "I met someone," I said, almost shyly. "That's great," he replied. "Do you feel ready?" "Yes," I said. "Ready to experience life again. Ready to trust, cautiously but fully. And to embrace happiness without guilt." "Good," he said, his voice full of pride. "Remember, you've earned this. Every step you took, every restraint, every decision, it led you here. Don't forget that." "I won't," I said. "I've learned that revenge isn't the endgame. Growth is. Integrity is. And letting go, that's the hardest but most rewarding part." Alex's tone softened. "I'm proud of you. Truly. You've transformed completely. From broken and betrayed to grounded, wise, and unshakable." "Thank you," I whispered. "You were right about patience. About integrity. About rising above it all. That's what mentors are for," he said. "Now, it's your turn to live fully." I hung up and took a deep breath. The night felt lighter, brighter. I glanced at Lila, who was laughing softly beside me, and felt a warmth I hadn't allowed myself to feel in a long time. "You seem happy," she said, nudging me playfully. "I am," I said. "I finally understand what that means. I've faced betrayal, heartbreak, humiliation, and yet here I am. Stronger, wiser, free." She looked at me, eyes bright. That's beautiful. You've really transformed. I smiled. It wasn't easy. But I learned something important: no one else can define your life. Only you can. Revenge doesn't heal. Growth does. Karma does its work. But ultimately, your peace comes from within. She nodded, a thoughtful smile on her face. I think you're right. And I'm glad I met you at this point in your life. We walked further, talking about small things: work, travel, music. The conversation was effortless. I realized that letting go of anger, letting go of the past, didn't mean forgetting, it meant choosing life over pain. Later that night, alone in my apartment again, I reflected on the journey. Sophia, Alex, Elena, Ethan, every encounter had shaped me. Every betrayal, every lesson, every moment of patience had built me into someone I barely recognized but finally admired. I whispered to myself, I survived. I rebuilt. I am free. And this time, I'm choosing happiness, not just survival. My phone buzzed, another text from Lila. Dinner tomorrow? I want to hear more about your journey. I smiled. Of course, I whispered. I have stories, lessons, but mostly, I have a life to live. I called Alex one last time before bed. I think I understand now, I said. Life isn't about taking revenge. It's about reclaiming yourself, your values, and your peace. Karma is secondary. Growth is primary. Exactly, he said softly. And you've proven it. I'm proud of you. Go live the life you deserve. I ended the call, the quiet apartment now feeling warm, inviting, alive. The past was behind me. The present was mine to shape. The future, bright, open, and full of possibility. Lila's laughter echoed in my memory, a promise of new beginnings. And for the first time, I felt the weight of the past lift completely. I whispered into the night, I've moved on. I'm no longer defined by betrayal or anger. I am stronger, wiser, and ready. This is my life now. And I knew it was only the beginning. I saw the headline before my coffee even cooled: Sophia faces lawsuit from former partners, reputation in shambles. I sipped slowly, letting the words settle. Alex called, voice light. Looks like the universe isn't done yet. I see that, I said, a small smile forming. And I feel nothing but relief. Not satisfaction. Relief. Good, he said. That's real growth. Observing without needing to act is harder than any revenge. I've realized that, I replied. I don't need to touch her life. Karma is enough. She built it herself, and now, it's crumbling naturally. Later that week, I ran into Elena at a cafe. She looked uneasy. She's worse than I expected, she whispered. People are cutting ties, Ethan's taking legal action, even her friends are abandoning her. I nodded slowly. She's facing the consequences of every choice she made. I don't feel joy in it, just confirmation that the world balances itself. Elena hesitated. Do you feel anything else? Anger? Desire for revenge? No, I said firmly. Those feelings belong to the past. I feel calm, finally. Seeing her unravel, it's not about me anymore. It's about reality catching up to lies. Alex called later. You're handling this remarkably well, he said. It would be easy to let old wounds dictate your emotions. I've learned, I said. I survived betrayal. I rebuilt my life. I'm not her victim anymore. Observing her collapse is just information. That's all it is. That evening, I glanced at social media. Sophia's posts were desperate, attempts to justify herself, to gain sympathy, to rebuild her image. But the comments told the real story: skepticism, disappointment, disbelief. I whispered to myself, every lie, every manipulation, it's all unraveling. She created her own downfall. A text buzzed, Lila. Walk tonight? The city looks amazing in winter. I smiled. Yes, I replied. Let's go. Walking beside her, I felt the weight of the past lift further. Sophia's chaos was distant now. The bitterness, the rage, the heartbreak, they had no hold on me. Alex called one last time. You've truly moved on, he said. The past isn't dragging you down anymore. No, I said, looking at the lights reflected on the river. It's gone. And in its place, peace. Karma has done its work, and I've done mine, living, learning, growing. Elena texted me later, she's lost it all. I never thought I'd see this. I smiled faintly. She lost herself, not me. I've gained everything that matters. Freedom. Strength. Integrity. Life. Walking back, Lila's hand brushed mine. I felt warmth, hope, and the quiet certainty that the future was mine to shape. I whispered softly, karma isn't mine to deliver. I don't need it. I've grown beyond it. That's the real victory. The city light sparkled, indifferent to Sophia's fall, and I realized. I was finally free.